Welcome back. I have Dr. Michael Hanna here, who is from Kaiser Permanente. He's the director of mental wellness program. And you really wouldn't think that mental wellness and sleep go hand in hand, but they do. And you're here to tell us all about that. Well,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a joy to be here. Thank you.
So how is it that, mental wellness and sleeping go hand in hand?
Well, often when you look at what causes sleep problems, I use the paradigm of nature versus nurture. Nature's medical issues or sleep disorders, and nurture's more lifestyle. So mental wellness is tied into our influences, our stresses, our backgrounds. So mental wellness, mental health is very tied into insomnia. But sometimes you have to address if it is medical, because then it's technically secondary insomnia. So you address the medical. But most people, it's more on the nurture side.
The nurture side.
The stresses and the influences in my work, relationships, coronaviruses.
Yeah, really, it's all on our minds, of course. Tell me a little bit about your background. So what did you do that led you to this?
Yes, I worked for, I got my doctorate from Fuller. You may have heard of Fuller up in Pasadena in psychology, and loved being there, and have a private practice, and joined the Permanente medical group as Kaiser Permanente about 20 years ago, and started in addiction medicine. That's why I have a real passion for being careful with sleep medicines, pain medications, and then preventive medicine, and now I'm at the Center for Healthy Living that really embodies the Thrive campaign of Kaiser, just the wellness and educating, empowering, inspiring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, of course, this morning I was saying I thought I slept well, but I actually woke up tired.
Okay.
So why is sleep so important?
Well, when you think about it, 1/3 of our life we're sleeping, in a 24-hour day and night period. To bring it a little closer to home, we're basically sleeping or resting. Many things happen in sleep. People think the mind goes passive. It actually becomes very, very active. We have stages. Core sleep, stage 3 and 4, is where healing happens on the deepest cellular level. We don't get adequate sleep, our immune system begins to be compromised. And then REM is where we dream, and dreaming helps us sort through the memories, dump them, put them in short-term or working memory or long-term memory. Very important for health. The body's set on a very tight clock. And part of that sleep, and it's all done by metabolism and hormones. So the circadian rhythm, if you throw that off by going 3 hours away or the daylight savings time, that clock has to reset.
And how many hours should I plan on getting each night?
The general counsel in the healthcare community is 8 hours, but actually it's very subjective. Some people actually only need at least 5 or 6.
Okay. Some
need 9 or 10, and there's nothing wrong with them. I always say the litmus test is in what you get, are you rested? And if somebody can say they get 6.5, 7 hours, but they're rested, they're not drinking energy drinks or all these things, then I say if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. You don't need to fix it. So but generally it's 8, but again, there's variance there. Children need more. Seniors do not need more or less. That's one of the slides, I think, on the myths. They don't need less and they don't need more.
Okay.
They're just about the same in terms of, a range of 7 to 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there are many sleep disorders out there.
Yes, there are.
Sleep apnea.
Yes.
So what are some of the other ones?
Well, the CDC, I can bracket up by saying over 1/3 of American adults sleep less than 7 hours of sleep. Sam and I were talking about that earlier. Chronic insomnia, 1 out of 6 have chronic, not acute. Acute is just situational, brief. Chronic is where it's ongoing. Some of your main sleep disorders are sleep apnea, with the airways being blocked. Restless leg syndrome. This is not kicking, that's periodic limb movement disorder. Restless leg syndrome is where you have these creepy, crawly feelings in your legs. Again, it can be caused by neuropathy too, in the legs, diabetic neuropathy. And the parasomnias are things like sleepwalking and sleep talking.
Right, okay. And then what is the difference between a good night's sleep and insomnia?
Again, it's subjective, but technically a good night's sleep is you fall asleep within 30 minutes. About 85% of the time in bed, you're sleeping. And if you do wake up, you shouldn't be having to wake up longer than 5 minutes one time. Sometimes you go to the bathroom with the dog.
Right.
Yeah, so but again, it's more subjective. A sense of telltale sign of not getting enough sleep, Lisa, is tiredness, excessive tiredness during the day, which causes a lot of other problems.
So our community is 55 and over.
Yes, yes.
And how does our age affect sleep? Now, I'm also remembering as a child, sometimes they have issues like the leg syndrome I've heard about, but that happens as an adult too.
Yes, it does. It can happen. Some things people have some genetic disposition. A lot of things people outgrow, but obviously things that stay are going to require help. But aging is huge. Lisa, there's many factors that start to come together at middle age, and losses, changes, and so that definitely affects sleep. You have personal losses, spouse, friends, pets, financial challenges, your assets, bills, incomes, your identity changes in terms of your career, significance, having a sense of purpose, and your health. There's many things that start to change in our health that drive that nature aspect of if it's causing the sleep. Remember, the primary insomnia is caused by just not sleeping well. Secondary is where most insomnia is. That's caused by another condition, such as the prostate in men, having to go to wake up a lot during the night. Or stress. Most of my patients, medically they're pretty stable. They just say, I just can't relax. My mind won't turn off. My body's tired.
Right. Well, when it comes to those, I know you talked a little bit about how you want to be careful about what you prescribe.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
Do you have more of a natural method that you like people to try first?
Well, here's the challenge. Sleep medicines are a mixed bag. They're effective and useful, or we wouldn't use them. It'd be unethical otherwise, and bad medicine. The problem is they tend to be, then ideally sleep medicine, you have a few different groups. We have the anti-anxiety drugs like Xanax, Klonopin, Ativan. And you have the ones that were developed more for insomnia like Lunesta, Sonata. Ambien by far is the most common. The general guideline is the lowest dose in the shortest amount of time, intermittent, which doesn't mean every night. The doctor puts in the order often PRN. If you read the label on your prescription bottle, it says as needed, but the average person says I need it every night. But actually they are habit forming. You develop tolerance and independence. Most people don't become an addict with it, but they become physically and psychologically dependent. Actually, Lisa, this is going to surprise you. Sleep medicines are supposed to generally only be used for about 2 to 3 months. So we have people, some of your listeners will be on these for 2 to 3 years, 5 to 7 years. So lowest dose, shortest amount of time, kind of intermittent. In that context, they're generally safe. But some people don't like medicine. They like more. There's many natural remedies, melatonin, chamomile, tart cherry juice has the most melatonin in it in nature. It's not fortified. You got to watch it if you have diabetes because of the blood sugar. Just a 4 or 5 ounce glass of tart cherry juice packed with melatonin. As the brain produces melatonin, at an hour before you go to bed, it just rapidly, the pineal gland in your brain starts to rapidly produce melatonin. It's what helps you get tired, stay asleep, fall asleep, and stay asleep. And there's other ones, but some of the, you have to be careful with the over-the-counter and some of the prescription ones. Unfortunately, you have to be your own advocate sometimes for this, even in the healthcare community.
So I was going to ask you, what the old adage of a nice warm cup of milk, is that still effective?
Yeah, because it has tryptophan in it, which helps make the melatonin, the sleep hormone, and serotonin, a neurotransmitter, more available to the brain. And those are calming chemicals and hormones.
Perfect. Well, perfect. At least we can still resort to that if need be.
I like natural. We get into all the synthetic things. I've seen patients, like I said, I have a passion for being in addiction medicine. I've seen people chemically dependent, not on the street, all this stuff, but just they get to self-medicating. So another topic for another day.
Exactly. So changes in lifestyle.
Yes.
Probably the one that we all should do is don't look at that phone before you go to bed because the brightness.
The blue light.
Yes, the blue light.
It's the blue light actually and then if it's something stimulating or it draws you in or something. Most of the newer phones, the operating systems of the iPhones and the Androids like Samsung, have a filter that you have to turn on. The blue light goes right through the eye, Lisa, and it impedes the production of that melatonin.
Oh, no kidding.
Bright lights, very bright.
Well, at least we won't be falling asleep here. That's a good thing.
We're here in the morning, so this is good. But lights at night, noise, temperature. The ideal room temperature is about 65 degrees. Kind of cold for Southern California, I think they feel.
Well,
But you sleep better in cooler temperature than
Okay.
warmer because it raises core body temperature.
Right. All
Yeah.
right, excellent. What other things like avoiding caffeine,
Yes.
alcohol?
Yeah, well, the key is moderation. In moderation, caffeine or coffee is fine, or alcohol is fine in moderation. You want to watch your physical activity. You don't want to be too active before bedtime because it raises core body temperature.
Right.
And just a lot of simple things like that. Snacks, keep them limited, especially if you have reflux. And also, there's many things, we call it sleep hygiene, sleep environment,
Okay.
Especially the last hour before you go to bed.
All right.
Yes.
And then there's a book that you have
Oh, yes,
called...
this is a great book. Yes, Dr. Jacobs, our program at Kaiser. Let me show you the Kaiser, we do this wonderful
Oh, nice.
4-week program.
Sleep well, live well, okay.
I oversee this one, and it's based on Dr. Jacobs' work at Harvard. It's a non-drug treatment program for 6-week program. Ours is 4.
Okay.
Very good. Talks about our thinking, talks about things we've already mentioned, lifestyle, addresses the natural remedies and the concerns among medications.
Okay, so you have a 4-week program,
Yes, we
but
do.
his is a 6-week.
His was based out of Harvard, and so we modeled our program after Dr. Jacobs' program.
Okay.
Members love it. We have great numbers. 2/3 of the people get off their sleep meds.
Fantastic.
2/3 improve in their sleep.
Okay.
And just in 4 weeks, it's just
great.
so good to see they're happier, they're enjoying life more. But I think unique to the senior population, there are just health issues, brain and cognition, heart and circulation.
Right.
And so again, primary, secondary insomnia, nature versus nature. The cause always determines the treatment, and that's why it's important to get to the source of insomnia.
Well, perfect. Well, we have a couple of resources for our viewers. They can
some
go
great
ahead
websites.
and go to some of those websites for additional
those
information.
are very reputable
and
websites.
go ahead and talk to us a little bit about what those are. We've got the sleepeducation.com.
Yes, this is with the, I think you've got a slide here.
Yeah, it's behind
this
us
is
there.
the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. You type it in, just on the internet. It's got a lot of great articles. Now we have little YouTube. Well, it's not Kaiser. This is very well. And the same with the National Sleep Foundation.
Fantastic.
So wonderful programs. And gosh, there's so much we could say.
I know there is.
But I think we hit the major points.
I think we did.
Today.
Well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome,
It was
Lisa.
very nice to meet you.
It's a joy to be here. And
All
I'll
right.
be happy to come back for a longer time and give you more if we need it.
Perfect. Well,
okay?
we will definitely have you on then. Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
Thank you, Lisa. Take care.
And if you'd like more information about what we've discussed here, you can always go to the websites that we mentioned. But do try to get 8 hours of sleep every night. We'll be right back.